Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to another Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights 2. We've finished 3 of the campaigns that they have on here. The original campaign, Mask of the Betrayer, and Storm of Zehir. Used to be all there was, but apparently later on they added a 4th campaign, which I again know nothing about and have never played before. A campaign known as Mysteries of Westgate. So, I think perhaps we'll give this a try and see how it goes. Going in completely blind. Almost completely blind. So, we'll see how it is. And I made up a completely new character for it. So, let's take a look. Let's see. Start campaign. Select character. I made up a character known as Alwith Narakin. A little different. A half-drow fighter. Okay, still a fighter. Worshipper of Tyr. We'll see how this goes. Let's do it.
It was in the depths of some unnamed dungeon that you found the mask. Something about it demanded your attention. Only after you attempted to rid yourself of it, did you learn that the mask refused to be discarded. The nightmares began to plague you shortly afterwards. Unimaginable horrors awaited you whenever your eyes closed, turning sleep into sweat-filled torture. In desperation, you sought advice from a sage of Cornmeal, who confirmed that the mask had its origins with a mysterious organization known as the Night Masks. The old man urged caution as you caught passage on the next ship to Westgate.
Westgate has been sighted! Perched in the fog like some predatory beast waiting for unsuspecting prey. Aye, I see her. Go wake our passenger.
Aye, Captain. Up on your feet, stranger. It's time to wake up. There's still a fair way to go until we reach our destination. And the captain needs a few questions answered before he decides whether to take you any further. Come on, get up.
Miss Wade, I'm still half asleep.
The captain's had some interesting reports come in. It seems you've been sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. We don't like those who poke around on our business. Know what we do with bilge rats if we catch them? Snap their necks and toss them overboard.
Sticking my nose into what? I've hardly been out of this cabin.
Creed saw you snooping around the docks last night. He ain't the brightest member of the court, but his eyes pierce the night like the white velvety flesh of a maiden's neck. You ain't getting away. Not this time.
Who's Creed? What's this about a court? The first mate doesn't seem to be hearing a word you say. His face takes on a strange, feverish look. Something is very wrong.
I warned you. You wouldn't listen. Very well. Come closer. Take a long look. It's what you came here for, isn't it?
Shit. Well, that was a
Wake up! Wake up! You're yelling fit to wake the dead, and this close to a city like Westgate, that ain't a sight I'd want to see.
Another bad dream, eh? The motion of the sea can do that to some folks. Luckily for you, the sea serpent is just pulling into harbor. We're there, Alowith, and right on schedule. We'll be debarking shortly. Westgate awaits. The sea serpent? Finest merchant ship this side of the Dragon Mare. The pirates that haunt the Lake of Dragons would love to get their hands on her bounty. But this ship can outrun anything short of a sea serpent itself, once the wind is behind her. What can you tell me about this mask? You don't want to go thrusting that in people's faces. It's a domino mask, and that means it's connected to the night masks. I don't know how it came into your possession, but if there's one thing in the city you don't want to do, it's draw the attention of those villains. Tell me more about the night masks. The night masks are the assassins, thieves, and lowlifes that rule Westgate's dark underbelly. Some say they even hold influence in one or more of the ruling noble houses. I don't like to speculate. Steer well clear of them is my advice. Tell me... let me ask something else? Sure, mate, but you'll have to make it quick. I need to get the cargo secured. The harbor loop ain't the safest place in the city. Tell me a little about it. Westgate. They say that this is a city where anything goes and everything has a price, and that's pretty much the truth. It's the most powerful city on the Dragon Coast and the most ruthless. My advice is to watch your back at all times or get someone to do it for you. I'm ready to depart. Before you go, I'd better bring you up to speed on events in the city. You haven't picked a good time to arrive in Westgate, traveler. There's gang warfare on the streets. Apparently the Night Masks have got themselves some competition. This new group calls itself the Ebon Claws. So far, they seem to be giving a pretty good account of themselves. Most of the violence takes place after nightfall, but that isn't always the case, so keep your wits about you. The priest, Obed Teltus, has declared that this church is going to clean the city. The Lathanderites lack the numbers to do little except stir up a volatile situation, but Obed might have some work if you're in need of gold. The Morningstar Haven is in the Arena District. I need to go and begin unloading cargo. Remember to collect all your belongings from your chest before you depart, lad, as the Sea Serpent won't be sticking around for long. Your friend Renara is waiting for you above decks. Farewell, mate. And we can level up. I'm going to do it manually. I believe we go up to level 8. Okay, so first things first, considering that intro actually started with in-game footage as a cutscene instead of various pictures, I was actually impressed there. Second, I probably should have made this character a priest of Lathander Lathander worshippers are mainly going to be a thing instead of Tyr. So let's continue on and see what we end up with. I'm going to do with all the level ups, and we're going to go with Fighter, and I'm going to try to go for Divine Champion this time. Maybe it'll be a little interesting. It could work. I think anyway. Alright, move through these. Okay, bit by bit. I think I already took weapon focus and longsword, so I'm gonna go with cleave. Level up to 3. Fighter. Diplomacy. Intimidate. Lore. I grabbed a point and spot before. Right. This one's gonna be anything. I do like diplomacy-related things, so I'm going to go with that. Skill-focused diplomacy. Alright, level 4, fighter. Point in strength. Okay, intimidate, lore. Let's see. Great cleave, definitely. Level up to 5. Fighter, diplomacy, intimidate, lore, spot. Level up to 6. Fighter, intimidate, lore. Alright, may as well get power critical for longsword. And then a generalized feat. Iron Will. I always like having Iron Will because I don't like getting charmed. Level 7. I can do Frenzied Berserker and Neverwinter 9 for some reason. But No, that's not what I'm going with. Fighter. Diplomacy, intimidate, lore, and spot. And level 8. Divine Champion. There we go. Strength. Ooh. That's interesting. I don't get intimidate with this one. It's unfortunate. But we get lay on hands. Sure, I'll take that. There it is. Be able to heal ourselves if need be. Where are we? There we are. Alright, Traveler's Trunk. Well, we've got a few things. Since we're level 8 and all. We've got Heavy Shield, +1 Longsword, Half Plate, Pot Helmet, a Concentration bonus. Despite its simple appearance, this helm bears a rather sophisticated, if weak, enchantment that allows the wearer to focus themselves more effectively. The popular theory is that a roaming mage in a tight spot grabbed this helm up and enchanted it in a hurry to give him the edge he needed, but this is little more than speculation. Alright. Arrows, Boots of Striding. Okay, the con bonus is good. Aside from that, we've got a short sword, potion, and there's the domino mask. This razor-thin black mask covers only the top half of your face, exposing your eyes through 2 small oval holes. A slim black braided cord worn over the ears holds the mask tightly in place. Elegant enough for one of Westgate's finest evening costume galas, the mask is a genuine work of art. Despite its surprising beauty, holding the mask makes you feel a little uncomfortable, and leaves you wondering what sinister secrets might be hidden beneath the mask's inky surface. I'm gonna hold that way back there, along with the torch. Shortbow can go there, potion there, that there, and these 2 things will be sold whenever we find a place to go. We got only 100 gold. Alright, we're armed up, let's get moving.
There you are. I was afraid you debarked before me and got lost among the rabble. I'm sure any number of pickpockets and charlatans would be happy to welcome you to the city. If you don't mind my saying, you look like something the crew scraped off the side of the ship, with a very long pole. I take it seafaring doesn't agree with you?
Who are you?
My, you are ill, aren't you? Does the name Renara ring any bells? We spent the last leg of our journey together, in case you've forgotten. Well, for better or worse, we're in Westgate now. You could use someone like me to show you around. Someone who's lived here before and knows how to walk around without getting her throat cut. I doubt the night masks will tell you anything about that mask of yours, but their rivals in the city might be willing to share information. I suggest talking to the Ebon Claws. If we can find them, that is. Of course, you could always go talk to this Obid person at the Lathander Temple if you're squeamish about consorting with criminals. It's your call.
Why so helpful?
Do I not strike you as the altruistic type? Well, let's just say that it helps to have powerful allies in Westgate. Especially if you've lived here long enough to make some equally powerful enemies. All I ask is that you back me up if I run into any trouble.
What sort of trouble?
Who can say? Trouble comes in all varieties in this city. Considering the troubles you brought with you, I'd say you're getting the better deal here.
Very well. Come with me.
Good. I'll let you know the points of interest as we see them. For now, let's just get moving.
Okay, so we have this
If you
companion
need something
here.
looted,
A
I'm
level
your
8
woman.
rogue. I like it. Already have a rogue at the beginning. Something I love having because it means we'll be able to pick things. You've got Devil's Guile. Okay, Renara's roguelings. Armor of this type began to appear in the lands adjacent to Thay in the year of Smoldering Spells, 1020 DR. An irremovable coating of soot has blackened it, dulling noise of movement and making it ideal for stealthy endeavors. Closer examination, however, reveals that the charring was not the result of externally applied heat, and suggests the original owner suffered some sort of Thayan-induced combustion. This leads to a very morbid feeling to the suit. Okay. Devil's Guile. Reliable information about this weapon is hard to come by. Some claim it is a relic from the Blood War, the eternal and infernal conflict between the Tanari of the Abyss and the Batezu of the Nine Hells. However, the modest power of the weapon suggests it was designed for use on denizens of the prime material plane. The most likely explanation is that the blade was forged in some forgotten age as a companion to the weapon known as Demon's Spite. Okay. Demon's Spite. This blade inspires a twinge of malice in those who even look upon it. The name suggests it was forged in the Abyss, though its specific origin is unknown. The very existence of the blade was but a rumor until a member of Westgate's ruling merchant council acquired it and put it on display some years ago. The collector's folly became obvious when the weapon was taken in a burglary soon after. Since then, occasional rumors suggest the blade has been employed for devious purposes by members of Westgate's criminal underworld. Demon Fever. Shortbow dagger. Alright, let me see here. You do have two-weapon fighting. Okay. So, if I put this on... Nope. A little penalty, but I think you'll still be fine with it. Okay.
I am certain.
Oh yes, and you appear to be a neutral evil half-elf. Oh, we're both half-elves. How fitting.
What is it?
Okay, so... Oh, great. I need to wait until we get off this dock in order to get a good view. Alright, so all we have here, Black Eye Tavern, Harbor Master's Office, Okuzo's Imports, and Exit to Market Triangle. Well, let's start moving along. I'm so hungry I could eat you. Yes, I'm sure. Fulgum Bonebreaker. Oh boy, ominous. Och, hold a wee moment, friend. I saw you stepping off yonder boat there. Thought to myself, Fulgrim, you'd be wanting to introduce yourself. Warn him about the dangers lurking in a city like Westgate. I'm lucky, see. Got me friends over yonder to watch me back. Still, for a new arrival like ye, well, there might be some folk who'd consider you easy pickings. Fortunately for ye, the Laird of the Loop is offering his protection. For a price. I be the Laird, aye? What kind of price are we talking? Och, now that depends on what ye be able to pay. I canna help but notice some of the nice gear you have there. Makes me wonder just how deep those pockets go, it does. Might be that I want to check for myself, just to be sure you're paying me a fair rate. I don't think so. I canna help but fear that ye ain't understanding, lad. I be the Laird of the Loop, and I demand a tithe, eh? The waters of the harbour are deep and be awfully cold this time of year. It'd be a shame if ye had an accident. I can't afford to pay a tithe, but a favour from me is better than gold. Och, ye be as slippery as an eel. I have another proposal for ye. Hand over all your gold, or me and me mates will split your skull here and now. Just try and take it. So it be violence, does it? Nae skin off my nose, lad. I've been looking forward to breaking a skull or two. Aye. Still the same old opportunist, eh, Fulgrim? Card won't be pleased to see you muscling in on his turf. The last night master to try that ended up scooping their ears from the water with a jar. Not a pretty sight. Who in the blazes? How do you know about Card? You ain't connected with him, are ye? Oh, I think I recognize you. I don't want any trouble with the Lady of Shivs or Cutter Card, eh? In fact, I'll just be on me merry way. Good evening to you. Oh, Sheesh. I knew disguises weren't my strength, but I didn't expect to be recognized moments after stepping off the boat. I'm just lucky the dwarf was dumb enough to voice his suspicions. Otherwise, word would have gotten around in a hurry. Why didn't you tell me you were a night mask? Because I don't want you calling me one in public. Keep your voice down. Now you know what I am. Or should I say what I used to be. If you're planning to take on the night mask, you could use my help. The best part is, I don't even expect you to pay me. There's a river of gold flowing into the night mask coffers every day. I know this better than anyone. You and I can make a fortune, and all I want is a fair cut. Very well. Tell me what you know about the night masks. I'll tell you everything I can, but perhaps standing over a corpse isn't the best place to discuss these things. Let's take the dwarf stuff and get out of here. You can ask all the questions you want later. Okay then, as you wish. Let's see, we've got gold ring, amethyst, potion of speed is something. Volo's Guide to Magic Appendix 3. These pages appear to have been torn out of a larger body of work. Written by the famous, some would say infamous, traveler and explorer Volothamp Gadarn, they detail some of the finer and often overlooked details of adventuring that tend to distinguish the live practitioners of the trade from the sadly departed. Of particular interest is a section demonstrating the foolishness of always trusting in magic to deal with a situation. Unhealthy obsession with his sword, often tucking it under his blankets at night, much to the chagrin of his wife. Alas, Sir Meredith was eventually undone by his over-reliance on his trademark blade. While its magic was indeed powerful, it availed him little in his final adventure. Hunting down a pack of werewolves deep in the Moonwood, he ignored the advice of a wandering ranger to arm himself with silver, preferring instead to rely on Reaper's Edge. The sword's name was apt, for it had slain countless foes during Meredith's long career. However, it proved completely ineffective against the werewolves, unable to bite into their flesh. Unfortunately for Meredith, the realization that his sword's magic was not infallible came too late. Had he possessed a weapon of silver, even one otherwise lacking any kind of magical enchantment, he would have killed the werewolves before they tore him to shreds. Knowing which material an enemy is weak against is often as important as any number of enchantments. Whether one is arming oneself with silver against lycanthropes or vampires, or else carrying weapons of adamantine to combat powerful constructs, a prudent adventurer always carries weapons forged from these materials in addition to those imbued with strong magic. Noted. Alright, let's see here. Well, we have a location here that we can look in. Okay then. Gregory and Marv. You need something, speak to the little Davy who runs the place. Behave yourself and there won't be any trouble. Oh, that's Renara there.
Hello, friend.
Westgate looks, sounds, and smells the same as I remember. Still, I get the feeling there's something new here, but something beneath the surface. Anyway, you wanted to ask me about something? What do you know about this domino mask? Not much. If I did, I would have said something by now. A lot of domino masks were in circulation when I was with the Night Masks, but I never heard of one being cursed. To us, they were just tools of the trade, used to identify our territories and intimidate people who might oppose us. It's possible the mask you have was used by the Night Masks as a torture device. Or maybe the curse is more accidental. I don't know. I spent much of our journey to Westgate pondering it, but all I came up with was speculation. Anything else? What can you tell me about the Night Masks? They're the second most powerful organization in Westgate. Maybe the first, depending on what you think of the Merchant Council. They do all the usual criminal stuff. Theft, smuggling, extortion, plus a lot of political maneuvering to make sure no one stands in their way. I've heard that they've even expanded their operations to other cities on the Dragon Coast. Who leads them? Someone called the Faceless, or at least that was the rumor. None of us street-level operatives ever saw the Faceless. In fact, he was never spoken of, except in whispers. But hey, someone had to be running the Night Masks, right? Whoever he was good at hiding his identity, even from his own people. The Faceless was an apt name, if not the correct one. Anything else? Why'd you leave the Night Masks? Because if I didn't disappear, the Night Masks were going to make me disappear. After a meddling harper named Alias came to town and killed or arrested a lot of the old bosses, a group of new bosses took over and decided to cut ties with a lot of his street-level operatives. I guess they saw us as liabilities. Unfortunately, I never learned much about the new bosses, the ones that are apparently still in charge today. I was too busy running for my life. What made you think you were going to be killed? Just a feeling. Sometimes you can hear the danger coming in the way someone talks, or see it in the way they look at you. You probably just think I'm paranoid, but minding your senses is important when you're part of a cutthroat organization. What was your job with the Night Masks? I was a collector. I picked up protection money from business owners and the like and dropped it off with my superiors. For the most part, it was a straightforward job. Not many tried to resist the Night Masks. And if they did? If I told you, you wouldn't like me very much. Let's just say I bloodied my blade on more than one occasion. Why'd you decide to return to Westgate? I find money to be arousing, and there's plenty of money to be had here. You'd understand my point of view if you grew up here as I did. Okay then, I guess that's all we have from you. There's a few things around here that we can talk to, but I think I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. No. We still have a little time. Let's speak to this little Davy. Let me get some water first. New arrival in Westgate here. Want a drink or something? We don't have a dancer to look at anymore, but our beverages are as wet as ever. Who are you? I'm Little Davy. This is my tavern. If you want to fight, make sure you clean up the mess when you're done. No glass or blades. If I catch sight of one, you might just end up feeling the Quelzarn. Feeding the Quelzarn. Feeding the Quelzarn? You haven't heard of the Quelzarn? Imagine a giant snake some 40 feet long that can paralyze with a glance and swallow an elf whole. It doesn't normally attack ships, but it'll make quick work of any foolish enough to find themselves in the deep waters of the harbor. Noted. What happened to your dancer? Dimples? Oh, well, she just stopped showing up for work one night. A lot of people have been asking for her ever since, and I just keep telling them I haven't the slightest clue where she is. My brother Marv knows more about the situation than I do. Talk to him if you want to find out more. I want to ask you something. I ain't one for chit-chat, mister. Far too busy serving up ale to be standing around pandering to you curious adventuring folk. If you felt like wetting my tongue, on the other hand... Well, what are you drinking? Now that you mention it, a tankard of Tanagir stout would go down a treat. It's thirsty work standing around here fighting, serving, and drinking all day long. Aye, that'll be 5 gold then. I mean, you're the bartender. You can take any drink you want, but very well, here's 5 gold. The taverner throws back the stout with frightening speed, smacking his lips in appreciation. Much obliged, stranger. That tasted just as good as the last. Now, where were we? Ah, you had some questions. What do you know about the night masks? The night masks? Well, they more or less control the city. The thing to remember about the masks is that anyone you meet in Westgate could be a member. Better to get on the wrong side of the watch than offend an agent of the night masks. What's the scoop on this guild war? Oh, a group of bloody fools calling themselves the Ebon Claws has decided to take on the night masks. Just like all the rest, these Ebon Claws won't last. The night masks rule Westgate's underworld with an iron fist. Who's the blonde-haired man over there? That'll be Mantides. Bloody sad tale is his. He used to be a paladin of the Morning Lord. A great tragedy befell him, and he now spends all his time drowning himself in drink. He still knows how to fight, even put Gregory down in a brawl recently. Ain't many folks done that. Heard any interesting rumors? Oh, there's enough gossip and intrigue in Westgate to fill the Great Rift. Most of the talk in this city seems to be about the Guild War, though. Rumor has it that the Ebon Claws are based somewhere here in the Harbor Loop. Alright, that's enough for now. Alright, my throat's getting dry again. Anything else? Do you have any rooms to rent? This is a tavern, not an inn. If it's a room you want, try the Bent Mermaid in the Arena District. You could just plunk yourself down in a corner here. There are enough unconscious drunks littering the place that it makes no difference to me. Ugh, this place sounds like a hell of a dive. Alright, show me what drinks you have available. Oh, good, we can sell things, or not. 0 gold for all of this? Okay, not selling to you. Nightmass Nightmare is actually a very strong brew imported from Rashman, guaranteed to give anyone nightmares. Brother Tobias is 1368. Brother Tobias Winery, a local business to Westgate, had an especially good year in 1368 DR. The locals still rave about how great the crop that year was. Okay, nothing else, so we're not selling to you. We got Mantides there, and Captain Merrig there. I think the rest of these are just patrons. Blonde-haired guy? I don't see this blonde-haired guy he's talking about. Well, anyway, I think I'm going to end this episode here, because it's gone on about long enough. I do think I made a mistake making my character a Divine Champion of Tyr, and not Lathander, if Lathander is going to be the main god involved here. But, oh well, I guess we'll be doing it that way. And yes, I'm going on the good side of things here, despite the fact we have an evil enemy, but we may get a good one later on. Maybe this paladin that he mentioned. Maybe Mantige is who he was talking about. Yes, that must be the blonde paladin. Well, we'll find out from him in the next episode, because this one's gone on long enough. So, until then, I am Chesic44. That is... give me a moment. Aluith, Narakan, and Renara. This has been a Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights 2, Mysteries of Westgate. And I shall see you all next time.